From the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria, the time is 2 o'clock.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the last edition of The World Today for the week. It is the Southwest Network program of Radio Nigeria, a Ibadan zonal station comprising news, feature, sports, and entertainment. In the lineup, FG 6 stakeholders input for 2027 finance bill. Police rescues 11 kidnapped NYSC members. Coming from the foreign scenes, U.S. Judge blocks Trump's mail voting restriction. Norway's King Harald dies at 89. Heart of the matter today is an encouraging reading habit among Nigerians. We also have entertainment just for you. My name is Feyi Shara. Owomoyela, I'm not alone with you. With me is
Tobiloba Adelano. You can also listen to us on live streams via www.radionigerica.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. Public infrastructure is for the benefit of all citizens. Desist from destroying it. Now the news in details. The federal government has called for inputs from Nigerians and other stakeholders ahead of the drafting of the Finance Bill 2027. The Federal Ministry of Finance, in a notice posted on its official media handle, invited members of the public, business, investors, professional bodies, civil society organizations, academia, public institutions, and other stakeholders to submit proposals. The ministry said the submissions should focus on practical, evidence-based legislative and regulatory reforms that will strengthen Nigeria's fiscal framework and improve the business and investment environment. It said the exercise is aimed at supporting sustainable economic growth, enhancing fiscal transparency and accountability, and strengthening the country's fiscal system. The ministry said proposals should cover areas such as revenue and expenditure management, budgeting, public financial management, fiscal sustainability, public debt, and intergovernmental fiscal relations. Other areas include budget discipline, financial reporting and disclosure, monitoring, accountability, and institutional oversight. The ministry also invited proposals on capital markets, investments and cross-border capital flows, anti-money laundering, financial reporting, and other regulations with significant fiscal or economic implications.
lecturers of Kaduna State University, under the aegis of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, have commenced a 2-week warning strike over unresolved demands bordering on salaries, earned allowances, university autonomy, and promotion arrears. The decision was taken after hours of deliberation at an emergency meeting of the ASU-KASU chapter, attended by hundreds of academic staff. The union maintains that the Kaduna State government's approval of 300 million naira for the payment of earned academic allowance to academic staff did not address all its outstanding demands. Among the issues still being contested are the implementation of the 25-35% salary agreement, university autonomy, and payment of promotion arrears, among others. In a statement, the union said it embarked on the warning strike following the expiration of the 2-week ultimatum earlier issued to the government.
The Kogi State Police Command has confirmed the abduction of a number of National Youth Service Corps members traveling from Bayelsa State to Abuja, saying 11 victims have been rescued. The victims were kidnapped last Wednesday along the Aloma-Egene Expressway in Ofu local government area of the state when armed hoodlums reportedly emerged from the bush and blocked 2 buses traveling in opposite directions. The command spokesperson, Mrs. Afusat Salisu, said the divisional police officer, Ofu, led a joint security team to the scene after receiving a distress call. She said 2 abandoned vehicles were recovered before a coordinated bush combing and a rescue operation was launched. According to her, the operation resulted in the successful rescue of 11 abducted victims, including the drivers of the 2 buses. Mrs. Salisu added that the rescued victims had been debriefed and, after the necessary procedures, were allowed to continue their journey. She said the joint security operation remains ongoing in the surrounding forest, with the primary objectives of rescuing any remaining victims, apprehending the perpetrators, and bringing them to justice. The command assured members of the public that every available operational and intelligence resource was being deployed to secure the area and ensure the safe recovery of the remaining victims. The police confirmation came after a lady who identified herself as the sister of one of the abducted corps members made an emotional appeal for government intervention in a viral video.
Every year, the rainy season comes with different impacts on people, the environment, and various activities. One of such impact is the prevalence of specific diseases such as malaria, cholera, and typhoid that are commonly associated with the season. In this report, an intern from Ojaja University, Kwara State, Blessing Kayode, examines healthcare measures suitable for the rainy season.
The rainy season is a period of the year characterized by frequent rainfall, increased humidity, cloudy weather, and cooler temperatures, usually occurring after the dry season. And while it provides relief from excessive heat, it can also create environmental conditions that increase the risk of certain diseases. During the season, stagnant water can provide breeding grounds for mosquitoes that transmit malaria, while flooding, poor drainage, and contaminated water can contribute to the spread of diseases such as cholera, typhoid, and diarrhea, with respiratory infections such as cough and catarrh also becoming common due to changes in weather and temperature. With this health risk associated with the rainy season, individuals are encouraged to maintain proper hygiene, keep their surroundings clean, prevent stagnant water, and ensure that food and drinking water are properly protected as necessary measures to reduce the spread of diseases. As the rainy season continues, people are to adopt healthy practices and environmental sanitation to protect themselves and their communities from preventable diseases. Speaking with some residents in Ibadan, they shared the various measures they adopt to stay healthy during the rainy season.
For my kids, I buy them Bausi, which is a drug that helps prevent cold.
I keep my baby warm regularly by breastfeeding him.
Rain will be falling, everybody will be pouring stuff outside.
A nurse working with the Oyo State Hospital, Mrs. Adejoke Adeniro, explained that the rainy season can be challenging, calling for increased efforts to protect oneself from diseases and respiratory problems. Speaking specifically on infant care, Mrs. Adeniro said nursing mothers do not necessarily have to bathe their babies twice a day during the rainy season, adding that frequent bathing may not be suitable for some babies who could be sensitive to it.
There are some people that are so allergic to cold, while some are not. But however it may be, when you are beaten by rain or the breeze is too much for you, your lungs and your respiratory tracts is not safe at all.
The chief consultant of General Hospital Fiditi, Dr. Samuel Ojefayo, advised people to take warm food and water, keep their surroundings clean, drink safe water, and seek prompt medical attention whenever they notice symptoms of illness.
Our hygiene is very important, both environmental and personal hygiene. Regular hand washing. Our environment must be free from water collecting points.
Dr. Ojefayo added that Nigerians should imbibe the habits of regular medical checkup and desist from self-medications to avoid health complications. In Ibadan, Blessing Kayode, Radio Nigeria.
The Election Violence Relief Committee, chaired by the Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly, Prince Adewale Egbedun, has called on victims of election-related violence to present their cases for consideration. Prince Egbedun made the call during the inaugural meeting of the committee held at the Assembly Complex in Oshogbo. The chairman of the committee said its responsibility was to listen to victims, verify genuine claims, and ensure that appropriate relief reached those who suffered losses as a result of election-related violence. He assured residents that the committee would discharge its responsibilities fairly, transparently, and without prejudice. Prince Egbedun also noted that every submission would be treated with utmost seriousness, while decisions would be guided by facts, fairness, and compassion. According to Prince Egbedun, a number of complaints have already been received and collated, but the committee would welcome more submissions. He urged persons still receiving treatment in hospitals as a result of injuries sustained during election-related incidents to signify through their relatives or representatives and make their cases known to the committee. The committee chairman further assured the victims, their families, and the hospitals involved that the government remained committed to taking responsibility for the approved cost of their treatment. While appreciating the state governor and the Springtime Development Foundation, Prince Egbedun described the initiative as a remarkable demonstration of humanity, compassion, and commitment to the welfare of vulnerable families affected by the unfortunate incidents. He reiterated the committee's commitment to ensuring that genuine victims would not be overlooked and that the relief process remained credible, transparent, and responsive to the needs of affected persons.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has commenced a nationwide training program for its counselors to standardize operational protocols and strengthen clinical competencies in line with global best practices in drug demand reduction. The training, which commenced at the NDLEA Academy in Jos Plateau State, is being coordinated by the Directorate of Counseling, Treatment and Rehabilitation and has brought together more than 100 counselors from the agency's formations across the country. The exercise is the first agency-driven capacity-building program of its kind for NDLEA counselors in several years, with participants commending the initiative as a demonstration of the agency's renewed commitment to the professional development of its counseling workforce. Speaking at the commencement of Phase 1 of the exercise on Thursday, NDLEA Chairman, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa, represented by the Director, Counseling, Treatment and Rehabilitation, Bashir Ibrahim, said the training was critical to revitalizing staff morale and equipping officers with modern therapeutic tools to address the evolving complexities of substance use disorders. He said the training would harmonize counseling practices through uniform protocols across state command, rehabilitation facilities, and enhance clinical proficiency in addressing emerging psychoactive substances and co-occurring mental health disorders. Brigadier General Marwa added that the training was expected to improve the quality of care across NDLEA rehabilitation facilities and strengthen the country's drug treatment and rehabilitation system.
The General Officer Commanding 2 Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Ahuwalu Mahuda, has advised participants of the Advanced Defense Intelligence Officers Course 16-2026 to apply the knowledge acquired during their national study tour to develop workable solutions to contemporary security challenges facing Nigeria. Major General Mahmuda gave the advice while receiving the commandant of the Defense Intelligence College, Commodore Usman Bugaji, and participants of the course at the headquarters of 2 Division, Adekule Fajui Cantonment, Ibadan. He said professional engagements and knowledge sharing were essential to improving understanding of and responses to security threats, including kidnapping and other criminal activities within the division's area of responsibility. The GOC particularly identified the security situation around the Old Oyo National Park as an area requiring increased attention, noting that the study tour came at an appropriate time. He commended the Defense Intelligence College for the visit and interactive session, which he said provided useful insights into the security challenges confronting the operational environment. Earlier, Commodore Bugaje said the Defense Intelligence College had been in existence for over 25 years, describing the study tour as a mandatory requirement for successful completion of the course. He stressed the importance of integrated intelligence in promoting peace and security and appreciated the GOC and other commanders for their support. The program also featured an operational briefing by the commanding officer, Administrative Battalion, 2 Division Garrison, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Simon, and on the security situation in Oyo State and the division's operational activities.
In Ogun State, the police commanders launched an investigation into allegations of farmland destruction, criminal intimidation, and suspected land grabbing in Ajogbo Akia community of the state. The investigation followed media reports and concerns raised by the traditional leadership and residents of the community over the alleged activities of suspected land grabbers. The Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, Bodio Jajuni, ordered an immediate and comprehensive investigation into the allegations. In a statement posted on the command's social media handle, the police said the investigation aims to establish the facts, identify those responsible for any criminal acts, and ensure that anyone found culpable is brought to justice. The police said the patrol teams would maintain a strong presence in Ajogbo Akia and adjoining agricultural corridors both day and night to enable farmers and residents to access their farmlands and conduct their lawful activities without fear of violence, harassment, or unlawful interference.
Pro-Biafra separatist campaigner Simon Ekpa has appealed a 6-year prison sentence for terrorism-related offences in Finland. The Finnish prosecutor handling the case has also appealed, seeking a longer prison term on the grounds that the sentence imposed was insufficient for the offences. The Finnish Court of Appeal is expected to hear the case within the next 3 weeks. Mr. Ekpa was arrested by Finnish authorities in November 2024 and subsequently charged with inciting terrorism and participating in the activities of a terrorist group. In September 2025, the country's district court sentenced him to 6 years in prison after finding him guilty of the offences. The convicted separatist campaigner has described himself as a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB.
It was a solemn gathering as family members, friends, well-wishers, and church members of Chief Frederick Adeleke gathered at All Saints Church, Jericho, Ibadan, to bid him farewell. In a sermon, the Bishop of Ogbomoso Anglican Diocese and Supervising Bishop of Ibadan Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Titus Olayinka, admonished people to be conscious of the way they live on earth, saying everyone will give an account of their stewardship on the Judgment Day. Right Reverend Olayinka, who described death as inevitable, urged people to repent of their sins in order to receive God's commendation on Judgment Day. One of the children of the deceased, Mrs. Adenike Aino, described her father as a philanthropist who served God and humanity.
Still on Chief Adeleke, at a night of tributes held for the deceased at the Ibadan Civic Center, Idiakwe, the minister of All Saints Church, Jericho, Ibadan, the Venerable Dr. Solomon Jolayemi, emphasized that death is no respecter of persons and urged the living to always live with eternity in view. The Venerable Jolayemi enjoined people to positively touch the lives of others and strive to leave legacies that would outlive them. The first daughter of Chief Kunle Adeleke, Mrs. Adenike Aino, described her father as her first love, a legendary broadcaster and business icon who would be greatly missed for being an extraordinary father. In another tribute, a family member and the Owa of Igbajo, Oba Dr. Ademola Makinde, said he lived with the family of Chief Kunle Adeleke for about 40 years. While eulogizing the deceased as his destiny helper, Oba Makinde described Chief Adeleke as an inspiring mentor to whom he attributed many of his successes in life. Pupils and students of the educational institutions founded by Chief Kunle Adeleke enlivened the atmosphere with a joint presentation of songs rendered in English and Yoruba in honor of their founder. The program also featured a presentation by members of St. Peter's Anglican Church, Iragbiji, where Chief Adeleke served as the Baba Ijo. Among those who attended the farewell program was the representative of the Oni of Ife, Prince Bimbo Ogunwusi. Also present were the Aragbiji of Iragbiji, Oba Abdurrashid Olabomi, the Olufon of Ifon Rolu, Oba Peter Adeyoye, the Are of Ire, Oba Muritala Oyelakin, and the Seriki Yoruba of Arewa, Oba Muritala Adeleke. Chief Kunle Adeleke is survived by his wife, Chief Mrs. Dupe Adeleke, children, grandchildren, and other relations. Chief Adekunle Frederick Adeleke began his broadcasting career at WNTV, WNBS, where he became the first director of news. He later served as general manager of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, BCOS, before becoming a permanent secretary in the old Oyo State Civil Service. Following the creation of Osun State, he became the pioneer director general of the State Broadcasting Corporation. Chief Adekunle Frederick Adeleke died on July 24, 2026.
All men will taste the death and the need to live righteously to avoid the second death, which is eternal damnation. The cleric in charge of CAC Okiofai Irefi, Ibadan District Headquarters, Pastor Emmanuel Oyebamiji, stated this at the burial service of Deaconess Anna Idogbe, held at Idogbe House, Yano Church, Ibadan. Pastor Oyebamiji, who anchored his sermon on the book of Revelation chapter 20, verse 11 through 15, advised leaders to rule with the fear of God, while citizens should uphold moral values to enable God's mercy to prevail in the land. Oyo State House of Assembly leader representing Lagelu local government, Mr. Duragbemi Idogbe, who is the only son of the deceased, thanked God for the life of his mother and appreciated everyone who supported the family during the mourning period. A highlight of the service was the rendition of songs and special prayers for the family by Pastor Ezekiel Adiagbo of CAC Okeshegun Egbeda Ibadan. Deaconess Anna Idogbe, who died on Monday, July 13 at the age of 70, is survived by her husband and children, including Elizabeth Idogbe of the Translations Unit, Radio Nigeria Dugbe, Ibadan.
This is the world today, the stories that made the headlines. FG has sought stakeholders' input for 2027 finance bill. Police has rescued 11 kidnapped NYSC members. Still to come, US judge blocks Trump's mail voting restriction. Norway's King Harald dies at 89. The world today continues shortly.
Glad to know you're still with us. It's the last edition of the news and the world today for the week. Now the foreign news. A federal judge in Boston, United States, Indira Tawani, has temporarily blocked the U.S. Postal Service from implementing a plan issued under the executive order by President Donald Trump that could limit mail voting.
Norway's King Harald has passed away at the age of 89. Europe's oldest reigning monarch, King Harald, had been in the hospital in Oslo since August 17, suffering from anemia, a condition caused by an abnormally rapid destruction of red blood cells, which leads to fatigue and shortness of breath.
Reviving reading habit among Nigerians is the focus of today's Art of the Matter. It is written by an intern from Ojaja University, Ilorin, Kwara State. Blessing Kayode.
The age-long saying, if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book, unfortunately still holds water today, as Nigeria is nowhere to be found when it comes to reading habit. With the rapid growth of social media, short-form videos, and constant digital entertainment, many young people now spend more time scrolling through their phones than reading books. This shift has significant consequences, as a poor reading habit can affect vocabulary, critical thinking, communication skills, creativity, and academic performance. Beyond the classroom, reading equips individuals with the knowledge needed to make informed decisions, solve problems, and contribute meaningfully to the society. Recent figures from the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education reveal that 38% of Nigerians lack formal education, while a staggering 40% of primary school pupils struggle with reading and comprehension. In another survey conducted by the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council indicated that only 56% of Nigerian adults read at least one book per year. According to a report by the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria had an adult literacy rate of approximately 60%, with reading frequency being much lower. The same report highlighted that an average Nigerian reads less than one book a year, which shows a contrast with other African nations like South Africa and Kenya, while the reading rate is significantly higher. Several factors contribute to this deadline. The widespread use of smartphones has made entertainment more accessible than educational content. Many schools also lack well-equipped libraries, while the high cost of books discourages students from building personal collections. In addition, some parents no longer cultivate reading habits at home, leaving children without positive examples to follow. However, reviving the reading culture is possible. Parents should encourage children to read from an early age by providing books and setting aside family reading time. Schools can organize reading clubs, debates, book reviews, and literary competitions to make reading more engaging. Libraries should be made more accessible and stocked with current relevant materials. Young people can also make use of free digital books and educational platforms to develop the habit of reading consistently. Reading should not be seen merely as a requirement for passing examinations, but a lifelong investment that broadens the mind, builds confidence, and creates opportunities for personal and national development. Every great leader, innovator, and professional understands the value of continuous learning and reading, as it remains one of the most effective ways to achieve it. As Nigeria strives for progress in education, innovation, and economic development, reviving a strong reading culture among young people is not just desirable, it is essential.
That script on encouraging reading habit among Nigerians was written by an intern from Ojaja University, Ilorin, Kwara State, Blessing Kayode, and read by Olubukola Enimola.
To end the news on the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are the day's top stories. The federal government has called for inputs from Nigerians and other stakeholders ahead of the drafting of the Finance Bill 2027. The Kogi State Police Command has confirmed the abduction of a number of National Youth Service Corps members traveling from Bayelsa State to Abuja, saying 11 victims have been rescued. A federal judge in Boston, United States, Indria Talwani, has temporarily blocked the U.S. Postal Service from implementing a plan issued under an executive order by President Donald Trump that could limit mail voting. Norway's King Harald has died at the age of 89.
And that ends news on the world today for the week. To join us on Monday for a fresh edition of the program, Jeffrey Ahomisi edited. I am Feyi Shara Owomuyela, thanking you for listening. Please have a restful weekend from my colleague.
Have a fantastic weekend ahead of you.